At first glance, the Range's Christmas shop might look very familiar, shelves filled with baubles, wreaths and everything you'd expect. But there's something going on behind the scenes that you're probably completely oblivious to. They're not just putting out a bunch of decorations, they've designed a strategy that feels a little sneaky, a little clever, and it's aimed directly at how we shop. For some, it's a brilliant way to get the Christmas look you want without the stress, but the flip side, it could also tempt you into spending far more than you planned. In this video, as well as having a good route around their new Christmas shop, I'll show you exactly what the Range are up to, why it works, and what it means for your Christmas shopping this year. When you start to wander around the Christmas shop at the Range, you'll notice it isn't organised by product type. You won't find all the baubles together in one place or all the ornaments lined up in another. Instead, they've divided everything into 8 different collections, each with its own colour palette and aesthetic. Now, before we get into the ways the Range are using psychology to influence the way we shop this Christmas, let's take a look at the collections themselves. I'll show you what each one is about, the styles and the colours they've focused on, and some of the highlights that caught my eye. And with 8, yes, count them, 8 collections to choose from, there'll hopefully be something in there to suit everyone. The first collection we're going to look at is called Angel Whispers. Now, on their website, the Range describes this as being all about transforming your home into a graceful winter wonderland. They describe the collection as dazzling with icy silvers and snowy white tones, where you can set the scene with a cosy candle holder or lantern and snuggle up with a cushion or throw to celebrate in style. Now, this is really the point of having collections in the first place. They're not just about selling decorations, they're about selling a little story of Christmas. For some, it's all about natural woodland textures and the cosy cabin look. For others, it could be all about candy canes and Santa Clauses. And for some, it might be that sparkling snow and shimmering white look. Each collection is designed to tap into those emotions and connect with that picture of Christmas that you already carry in your mind. And the Range have also made it really easy to shop each collection. At the end of every shelf, you'll see a strip with its own design so that you know which collection you're looking at. So for Angel Whispers, it's a blue strip with a snowflake pattern. Spot that and you'll know you're in the right place. Next, it's Mistletoe Cottage, and this section is defined by a soft green shelf edge with a gold snowflake design. On their website, the Range describe this collection as bringing a charming cottage aesthetic to your home, with serene sage accents, natural wood finishes, and touches of snowy white. It's designed to give your Christmas decorations an enchanted rustic feel. Now, I think this collection would really appeal to anyone who loves a more neutral style of decor. There are no bold traditional colours here. Instead, the soft green tones and natural textures would complement a neutral aesthetic perfectly. Next up is Jingle Bell Boogie, and you won't believe where the influence for this collection has come from. Walk through this section and you'll see everything from cowboy boots and cowboy hats to Santa Claus with a lasso. It's bold, playful, and definitely one of the most colourful themes in store this year. Oddly, there isn't a description for this one on the range's website, but it doesn't take much digging to see where the inspiration lies. This whole cowboy meets Christmas look taps straight into the cowgirl core trend that's been sweeping fashion and pop culture, led in no small part by Beyoncé's Cowboy Carter era. It's that mix of Western nostalgia with modern glamour, and now it's galloped straight into Christmas decor. The sections for Jingle Bell Boogie are marked out by a bright pink shelf end featuring a cowboy hat wearing Santa and a glitter ball. The next section is called Sleigh Bells Ring, and it's got a much more traditional feel about it. The shelf ends for this one are red with a gold Santa and sleigh design, so you can spot it easily as you shop. On their website, the range describes this collection as offering classic Christmas colours, red, green and gold, with everything from tree decorations to standing Santas, garlands and more. It's the perfect choice if you love that timeless festive charm. But even if tradition isn't usually your thing, it's still worth a browse because hidden among the classics are some really quirky ornaments that might just surprise you. So we're a few collections in and I'd love to know what you think so far. Have you had a chance to have a browse through your local store yet? Do you have a favourite theme that's caught your eye? Do let me know in the comments. I always love to hear your thoughts, good or bad. It would be a really boring world if we all liked the same thing. And if you like Shop With Me videos that don't just show you what's on the shelves but go a bit deeper into the story behind what you're seeing, then I'd love for you to join me regularly here in this little corner of YouTube. Next, it's Santa's Chalet. There's no official description on the range's website right now, but this feels like the ski chalet lodge version of Christmas. Think mountainside cabin, crackling fire, frosted pines, and yes, some ski references mixed with touches of country. There's also that nod to cowboy core again, but in a much more rustic, relaxed way rather than glam. You'll also see lots of Fair Isle style patterns here, cosy geometric bands, snowflake motifs, repeating star-like diamonds, which gives it that handcrafted alpine vibe. The shelf ends for this section are dark green with an almost Fair Isle style snowflake design, so you can spot the collection just by looking out for that pattern as you shop. If you like winter, cabin charm, or decorations that feel homey and nostalgic, then this one's likely right up your street. Next up is Candy Cane Lane. The shelf ends for this collection are bright green with red and white stripes, so you can't miss it. This one is all candy stripes and bold colours, but look closer and you'll notice a cheeky little nod to the Grinch. The range even play into it with the promise that this collection is sure to make your heart grow 3 sizes, which of course is exactly what happened to the Grinch when he finally caught the Christmas spirit. The colour palette here is the total opposite of neutral decor. It's bright, fun, and definitely not for the faint-hearted. Perfect if you want your Christmas to be loud, bold, and full of personality.
Christmas lights fill the city. There are people everywhere. The snow is falling white and pretty as I stroll on my way to you. How would you feel about packing up today? Leave this all behind. Go get snowed in somewhere, you and me. I would rather be somewhere with you, without TV or phone. Is it wrong for me to want you for my own? This Christmas, let the others miss us. Let's go get snowed in. Let's go get snowed in. How wrong could that be? Being snowed in somewhere, you and me.
Next, we've got Blushing Ballroom. The shelf ends for this one are pink with a delicate leaf and snowflake print. On their website, the range describe this collection as an enchanting theme that lets you waltz into pretty pinks and lavish sparkle, an elegant and decadent twist on traditional festive style. To me, this feels very Sugar Plum Fairy, girly, whimsical, and full of shimmer and glitz. Perfect if you love your Christmas with a touch of elegance and plenty of glamour.
Let's get snowed in somewhere, you and me.
Next up is Amber Charm. On their website, the range describes this as stepping into an enchanted woodland with warm earthy tones and decadent metallic accents to bring a little forestry magic to your home. You'll more than likely spot this one straight away from its rich colour palette, but the shelf ends also carry an autumn leaf design just to guide you. At first glance, this feels way more autumnal than Christmassy, and to me, it's more glam than woodsy. It'll definitely appeal to anyone who loves the autumn colour palette and wants a look that blends seamlessly with their existing decor, or for those who'd happily let that cosy autumn aesthetic run straight into the Christmas season. And so why has the range adopted this strategy of creating all these different collections? What's really going on here? And it's worth saying they're not the only budget retailer to start doing this. We've also seen Dunelm and B&M move towards curated collections in exactly the same way, but the range have taken it further than anyone else with 8 collections in total, more than any of the other budget players. And at first glance, it just looks like a fun way to display Christmas decor in their stores. But there's actually a clever psychology behind it. By grouping decorations into ready-made themes, the range are making the shopping experience feel easier, more curated, and crucially, far more tempting. They're also mimicking the playbook of the high-end retailers, stores like John Lewis, M&S even, or Harrods at the very top end. They've all long understood that shoppers aren't just buying baubles, they're buying into the story they're telling themselves about how their Christmas could look. In their head, they start to imagine the picture. Maybe it's a cosy cabin type of Christmas, complete with a crackling log fire and a tree dressed in woodland tones. Or maybe for them it's a more grown-up Christmas full of sparkle, glitz and glam with elegant cocktail parties and shimmering decorations. Each collection is designed to feed that imagination, to help you picture the version of Christmas that you want, and to make it feel achievable simply by picking up the pieces that are right there in front of you. It also allows them to capitalise on trends. Take the cowboy hats and boots we saw earlier. If those were just scattered randomly on the shelves, they'd just look confusing, even gimmicky. But tie them into a themed collection and suddenly they make sense. It all becomes part of a bigger story, and that gives the retailer a way to sell more. Some people might still be wondering why cowboy Santas are even a thing, but hopefully I've explained the cultural influence behind that trend. And then there's the bigger picture. Christmas is absolutely crucial for retailers. Many make between 25 and 50% of their annual profits during this season alone. So the more aesthetically pleasing and engaging they can make the displays, the longer you'll linger in store, and the longer you linger, the more chance you'll pick up items. When you see an entire collection curated right there in front of you, every piece tied together by the same palette, vibe or theme, you're far more likely to pick up multiple items than you would if you had had to wander from section to section, piecing that look together for yourself. It feels easy, it feels cohesive, and that's exactly why it works. And ultimately, that's the retailer's goal, to get you to buy more. While this strategy does make the shopping experience easier, more inspiring, and just far more pleasurable for the customer, it's also a very clever trick on the part of the retailer to increase how much you spend. Of course, marketing tricks aren't unique to the range. Everything inside a store is designed with marketing in mind. We've all seen those documentaries about products placed at eye level, end of aisle displays, and tempting little extras at the till. And becoming more aware of these tactics doesn't have to take the fun out of Christmas shopping. It simply means you go into the experience better informed, able to enjoy it while making smarter choices about whether or not you want to spend your money. And if you like to keep your finger on the pulse of what's happening in our high street stores, then you might want to check out this video where I take a look at the big changes happening at M&S. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.